The best financial advice you can get as a student in 2023. Let's go. Let me lay this down first of all. I'm not a financial guru, but based on my experience, I can tell you a few things that have worked for me, and I would like to share it with you just before the session is about to start again. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, here is a very good time for you to do that. Thank you for supporting me. So without any further ado, let's get right into this. First of all, I'm going to be saying that as a student, you have zero business with designer brands. I am literally serious. You know what I'm talking about. Designer products, designer clothes, designer stuff, whatever it is. Like 90% of your life as a student, you're going to be broke. Your late teens or early 20s is that period where you're trying to be as independent as you can, but we cannot all do that, right? It's like that period you're not so comfortable with asking either your loved ones or your close family or something like that. I don't know about you, but like that's for me. And I try as much as possible to make do with whatever I have. I'm still broke, but I'm getting there. I've not died yet. It's gonna be hard, but it could be harder if you make mistakes. Why are you getting designer products? You're not about to please anybody. You're not trying to impress anybody. Trust me on that. Your college wears are stuff that should be very comfortable to you, stuff that you can easily wear, easily change. When you start wearing designer products, you can't keep up with that lifestyle. Why are you trying to impress? We all know you're broke. Why are you doing that? It's better to go for known brands or even lesser brands. It doesn't matter as long as you're getting the quality that you need. That's all. Literally, nobody cares about designer brands. To me personally, I don't have a thing for designer brands. I don't like them. It's just me personally, but it's okay. The second thing I'll be saying is to develop a saving habit, a saving culture. I know we don't have a lot, but it doesn't matter. You have to just start small. However small, however large the amount of money you get at a particular period, try to always set apart a particular percentage of that money just for saving. It doesn't have to be long term, but it can go a very long way during the unforeseen days or like the rainy days or stuff like just happens without you knowing, right? Try to develop a saving habit. And this is the secret to it. Say you're given a sum of money, like at a particular period, right? You don't save what is left. You start saving before you even take anything out of it. So before you spend any money that you get, right? Try to divide it and try to have a plan and try to have a budget, right? And take a percentage of that and keep that in a separate account or somewhere else. Similar to that, try to also have a budget of what you spend in a week, in a month, in a day. Since our lives right now revolve around doing the same things, going the same places almost every day of our lives, right? It's gonna help you if you now set a budget for what you intend on spending, say on transportation, on food, on stuff like that. And also, it's not the time for you to now start using taxis every single time or private transport, because trust me, it's going to let your money to just disappear. The best thing for you to do is try to minimize what you spend. Try to go for the less expensive stuff, right? Use public transportations. I know we don't all like that, but it's unavoidable at this stage of our lives, right? Use public transport, either a bus, a train, a metro, whatever you use in your city. It doesn't have to be every time, but like for most times, except when it's unavoidable, then fine, you can use a taxi or stuff like that. But don't make a taxi your own way of life every time. Let me tell you, when I first got here, my first year, trust me, I really detested buses because they're always congested and everyone is together and you can't even breathe, and I feel like confined and I'm always hyperventilating or stuff like that. And I used to use taxis almost every time, but I just adapted to your situation because it's something that is unavoidable. I can't avoid this till I'm done here, and I'm supposed to spend a total of 7 years in this place, so there's no point in me using a taxi every time, right? I just came to realize myself that maybe not every time, but like for most times when it's unavoidable, I have to just use a bus for me to just save money, right? Yes, save money. And also it's eating out, right? don't don't succumb to the lifestyle of always going to the restaurant to buy your food or like to order something. Trust me, it's going to not help you at all. It's very, very important for you to save your money and to cook your food yourself. Apart from the fact that it help you financially, it also help you in the health sense because you're able to control whatever you need and want in your food, right? Curb the habit of cooking in bulk. This is not just about the financial aspect, but also the sense you hardly have time for you to start experimenting on different kinds of food you want to eat, right? So if you're going to be making your food yourself, it's best for you to set aside a time of the week that you decide to, I'm going to cook this week for this week, right? It doesn't have to be just one food. You can cook like several foods and just store it in your fridge or your freezer and use a microwave to do stuff like that. It's as simple as that. Life is going to be way easier for you to do that. Another thing that's helped me related to that is to try to get stuff when they're on sales or when they're on discount. As I said before, you're not trying to impress anybody. If you can get an exact item, right, at a lesser price in a different place, except it's very urgent or something, but when you're buying your groceries or buying stuff in bulk, right, it's best for you to go for the cheapest. Trust me, that is the way. That is the way. Literally compare different prices at different places. Take your time. I know for like some stores, like they have like a particular week of the month or days of the month where their stuff is probably like 40% off or 30% off, stuff like that. It might be insignificant to you right now, but when you make a gross of all you've been spending for the past month, you see that it's actually a lot of money. It's best for you to just save and try to monitor when they're actually having sales or stuff like that, so you'll be able to get the same amount of things you'd get normally for a lesser price. Another thing I'm going to say is to not follow the crowd, right? What does this mean? It means that the fact that people around you are getting new stuff, new clothes, new products, new gadgets, new tech, and everything, it doesn't mean it's okay, I should do that. Don't try to belong. I'm even sure, like, don't try to belong in this context, right? I know a lot of people like fall prey to this. You're not trying to impress anybody. You're just trying to survive. You're trying to survive the most, and you're trying to. It's like a long term process when you think about it. It's not just what I can do. I just quench or release my desires, what I thirst for getting stuff, because you're gonna get tired of it, right? And it's life because there'll always be newer things you want to update with. It's like continuous. So when you get this particular stuff, right, for a while you get satisfied, and then later on you want to get another one again, and it keeps going on and going on. And that's like it never stops. Once you realize that, that all of these things doesn't really matter. So get the things that are very, very important to you first of all. If they're not important to you, and if you can do without them for a particular while, then just chill till you can actually afford it. In university, it's very easy for us to try to now start being jealous or envious of other people, whatever what they have and everything. But it's just about right for us to be content with whatever we have. It's gonna go a long way. And I think a lot of people misunderstand the term afford. Like, being able to afford something. Being able to afford something doesn't mean you have the exact money in your hands. I can buy it right now. It means after you buy it, it's not even like will you feel it, because I feel everything I buy. But like, will you be able to be okay after that happens? Or say something happens to the money gets lost or something like that, just gets off like that, will you be able to survive after that, right? It doesn't matter. It's I know there's always this rush. We're always tempted to get in a lot of stuff, going on a shopping spree, clearing all our carts when we get a sum of money. But just sit down and think about it. Like, if you spend all this now, like, we'll be able to survive in the next 1 2 months without you asking anybody or anything. What if your next means of income it's like uncertain? Will you be able to actually survive? Actually, just think about these things. As I said before, you're not trying to impress anybody, and regardless of the fact that you're coming from a wealthy family or you're coming from a struggling background, it actually doesn't matter, because this is the time for you to start your own legacy yourself. It doesn't matter what happened before you. Now you're rewriting your own story. You don't want to start your legacy by just spending, because these things are going to shape who you're going to be in the future. I know it might not feel like it right now, it might not even look like it, but it's going to be fine. Everything's going to work out well. Yes, just have to be patient, and you just have to give it all to whoever created you, whoever you believe in. Don't worry, don't fret, don't be anxious about anything, and we'll be fine. I wish you good luck, and I wish you success and strength and everything you actually need. Thank you for watching. Bye.